York City. Albany.
WebEx. WebEx.
It's unanimous.
And Buffalo.
Okay.
Commissioner DePiero in
3
Buffalo.
step.
Commissioner McNamara didn't. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We, as we previously discussed, we submitted our budget request to the Division of Budget by the November 6th deadline. We requested the same appropriation as last year, $5.582 million. In terms of an outreach update for the past month and going forward, we have, as we've done for the past several years, we're sending 2 members of JCOP staff to the annual conference of FOGL, the Council on Government Ethics Laws, in December. We found this to be a very useful opportunity to engage with our counterparts to exchange ideas, learn about the developments that are taking place, and share our experiences. On January 16th, we will be holding our annual training for ethics officers on financial disclosure statements, so we and the agencies can prepare for the 2019 statements to be filed. New this year, we're updating title exemptions, and agencies and labor unions have been notified that they will need to reapply this year to maintain existing title exemptions. We expect to issue the latest edition of the Commission newsletter by the end of the year, and we also plan to hold a training in early 2020 on the lobbying regulations and applications to address issues and questions that have arisen in the past year. Once we have a date for that, we will send out announcements. I'm going to turn it over to Carol Quinn to provide an update on the lobbying application.
Okay, so we are continuing to roll out new functions with the lobbying app. In the next week or two, the auto-generated client semi-annual reports should be live, along with extensions. Next up would be terminations. We're going to work on that. Currently, ITS is doing that, and then working on that. We should have it for testing come December, and we'll roll it out as soon as possible. And following that will be withdrawals and failure to file. So again, we're just continuing to put new functions on the lobby application. Another feature is the public search query. We're continuing to build on that and roll out new functions. Currently working on improving optimization, and also in the global search, you'll see you can easily find out a lobbying organization, who they're lobbying, what they're lobbying on. And an example of rolling out new features, this morning we're rolling out individual lobbyists. You should be able to more easily figure out who an individual lobbyist, what filings they're on, and what that entity is lobbying on. And like I said, we're continuing to work on it, continuing to improve the functions that are there and roll out new functions as we're ready.
Okay. Any questions or comments?
Quick question, Carol. When do you anticipate the lobbying application be fully functional and finished?
The project is due to be done in April of 2020.
Okay.
So we'll have ITS staff hopefully still available to us to work on any defects, but the entire project is due to be finished by April.
Okay, thank you very much.
Anyone else? Okay, that concludes.
Mr. Chairman,
Sorry.
may I ask your indulgence?
Yes, go ahead.
I have a few questions. With respect to the letter report that was issued to us by the Executive Deputy Inspector General, do I understand correctly that the report is not confidential? I'm sorry I can't hear you, Mr. Chairman.
Hold on one second, Commissioner.
Commissioner Levine, if you're asking for my legal opinion, I'm not comfortable giving legal advice in the public session.
We can take this up in a moment in executive session, Gary, if you wish.
Well, actually, my impression is that it is not confidential. unless I'm disabused otherwise, I'm going to move right now that it be released by us immediately.
That's a motion that's out of order. You've gotten advice from
Why
On
is
what
the motion
basis?
out of order?
On what basis is it out of order?
requires advice from counsel. And counsel has said it could be a privileged matter to discuss.
I don't think it was privileged. I'm not sure where it's privileged.
I think the more prudent course, George,
Well,
as
Dan,
we've always done, is to defer to our counsel. Take it up with counsel, and if after a robust discussion with our counsel, it's determined that it's not a privileged matter, then it can be discussed in the public session. But historically, this commission has always been careful about waiving privilege. I understand that you're interested in this issue, but the protocols of the commission regarding our privilege are quite important.
you know, Dan, when you were chair, you brought forth a considerable amount of transparency to this commission, which on more than one occasion I thought was the right thing, and I think Chair Rosen has continued that and expanded it to the extent he can. So, you know, much like Commissioner Levine, I read the Inspector General's statute, and I don't see anything confidential in it to move me, and I guess that's almost 40 years of practicing law.
All right, so why don't we do this? This is a matter that we should take up in exec session. We can do it momentarily. If we all conclude at that point that there is no prohibition on releasing it publicly, we can do that when we come back into open session after the executive session. Okay?
Exactly, and that's all I was saying. Nothing to do with transparency. Has to do with whether or not it's privileged. If it isn't privileged, absolutely we can have a vote and decide whether it should be released publicly.
Dan?
Well, may I just interject, Mr. Chairman? Do I understand correctly, if we take the vote in executive session, we cannot divulge the vote?
I think that would be correct. I don't know that you need to take the vote in executive session, but I think that there are commissioners that would want general counsel to be able to answer questions about the privileges and confidentiality that would apply to the issue. And after I've given that advice, then commission can take up the issue accordingly.
In other words, we could return to the public session and then take the vote after we've been availed ourselves of counsel's advice, correct?
Yes, correct.
Correct.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else? All right, can I have a motion to enter into executive session, please? Thank you,
Commissioner Deering.
Second. Thank
Commissioner
you.
Horowitz.
All in favor?
New York City.
We're gonna have all the motions in New York today because we can't.
WebEx, Buffalo.
Okay. What's happening in Albany?
It's unanimous.
Okay, so it's in Buffalo unanimous. Okay.
Jacob.
Okay.
We'll, I'll take care of it.
Stand by.
WebEx, Buffalo. Unanimous.
Okay, we are adjourned. See you all next month. Thanks, everyone.